Tips with Toni. Tips with Toni. All about nutrition from your favorite dietitian. Everything you need to digest in your mind. Tips with Toni. Tips with Toni. Making you healthier one bite at a time. With Toni. Woo.
All right, guys, I am here with Nick, owner of Westchester Boxing Club. Nick, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Toni. Thanks for having me on your podcast. Really appreciate it.
I'm super excited to have you. Why don't we start by just sharing who you are, what you do, and why you do what you do?
Okay, well, we're here at my gym at 220 Ferris Avenue in White Plains, which is Westchester Boxing Club, in my office. As you can see, our backdrop of a whole bunch of famous boxers that I've had the chance to meet, opportunities. And I'm glad you're here today, you know.
This is actually the very first podcast recording live in person.
Okay.
Usually they're through Zoom calls, so I'm super excited because I've never done this before. So I'm like really grateful that we're close enough that I could actually come here and see your awesome facility. And then, the fact that you've met all these people, which we're going to talk about in a minute, is super cool.
Okay, great. And we definitely have to talk about what you do also, getting people in shape and, you know, helping them lose weight.
Yeah. Well, I think it's the marriage of the two, right?
Yes. Okay.
So I think it helps a lot for sure. But before we get into that, I'd love to know what got you into boxing in the first place.
Oh, it's an interesting story. I was really fortunate enough to meet a couple wonderful guys. Kid Sharkey, his real name was Maurice Spizzato. Everybody know him as Kid Sharkey. He passed away a few years ago. Lived well into his 90s. And Kenny Mack Sr. was one of my trainers. Charlie Caserta. They've all passed on, but they were great boxing trainers, and they trained me and started me out in this same building at 220 Ferris Avenue. There used to be, before I had the gym, obviously, there was a boxing gym here for about 40 years called the Cage Teen Center, the Cage Boxing Club, and it was a youth bureau type structured, city-run program, funded. And I was a troubled kid. I was pretty much homeless on and off from when I was about 13 years old. Went through a lot of tragedy, and basically drugs, alcohol, getting in a lot of trouble. And I accidentally wandered into this building, and I met these wonderful trainers in the boxing club. I was not going into box. I was just curious because my dad used to tell me stories about this famous boxing club in White Plains called the Cage. So, curiosity kind of dragged me in, and I was, hair down to my waist, 90 pounds soaking wet, crackhead, drug addict, and, they grabbed a hold of me and didn't let me leave, and, gave me a place to stay and let me stay in the gym on the floor. And at night when the gym would close, and then they got me a room for rent, and they got me a job, give me money to get clothes and a haircut. And basically I just kind of had to pay them back and clean up around the gym and help out. And, that was it. I made them a promise to quit drinking, smoking, doing drugs, and all that, and just held up my end of the deal, and been sober since I'm 21. That was when I was 21 when I got into boxing, and now I'm 49 and still punching.
That is amazing. And
that's the short version.
Well, that is. I'm sure there was a lot of heartache and a lot of hardships within that. And you said you accidentally came into the gym. I don't believe in accidents. I think that was you getting your fair shot at life. It sounds like, your circumstances maybe weren't set up to thrive or to set up for success. But at a certain point, you that got the help and you actually decided to take it and you took responsibility for your life. And the fact that you've been able to now give back to them by now doing that for other people is very inspiring. So thank you for,
Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, there's life can be really challenging, and I can't even imagine to get into, being homeless, being addicted to drugs. That's not easy stuff. So the fact that you had that support system, but also it sounds like a will or something. I don't know what was going through your mind or in your head or to make those changes, because sometimes we know better but we don't always do better.
Yeah, I mean, I was a good kid, growing up, and I knew right from wrong, but when you just don't have that guidance and that structure and people that really care about you around you all the time, that family unit to guide you in the right direction. I kind of did, but I was kind of ashamed of what I was doing, and so I really didn't go and gravitate towards the people that maybe could have helped me at that time. So you end up doing what you do, and you live and learn. But fortunately, everything worked out the way it did. I had the opportunity to meet you at Career Day in Mount Vernon when we went to I think it was a middle school down there, and you talked about nutrition, and I talked about just doing the right thing and fitness, but also motivating kids to you can do anything. You just got to put your mind to it and stay off drugs and alcohol, and anything can happen.
Yeah, for sure. That's very, very, very inspiring. Yeah, that was a great day.
Yeah,
we got to go into a school and educate kids and kind of show them. We talked about our struggles. We didn't hide. I doubt anybody else. I mean, I know that everyone had different rooms. I feel like our room was like the most,
definitely,
the real, raw, honest. Like, listen, guys, life is tough.
Yeah, we had,
you're gonna get made fun of. Like, I got made fun of for being overweight.
Yeah.
Like, you might not have the family support, whatever it is. Like, you're gonna have these struggles, but you can choose to kind of be held down by your circumstances or grow as a result of it. And so that was like a really, really awesome day.
Yeah, we had a police officer from Mount Vernon that was there, a commercial airline pilot. So it was cool. I mean, different people having different, lives and, careers and circumstances and how they got to where they are now today, and positive stories. So it was a great day.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm curious a little bit more about boxing itself. Like, why is it that I feel like when people are into boxing, like they're into boxing, So what is it about boxing that you think is so captivating or addicting for those people who do it?
Well, I think it's kind of a question that could be answered a bunch of different ways, but boxing as a workout, I guess let's talk about that instead of competitive boxing.
Sure. Yeah.
But boxing as a workout, the way that we do it here at Westchester Boxing Club is much different because our trainers here are very experienced. They're either former amateur or pro boxers. They have that background, that pedigree of knowing, what it's like to be in a ring and, have punches coming at you and be able to have, impeccable defense and slipping and blocking and bobbing, weaving. And, that's something that you're not going to learn at some other gyms.
Right.
Not that other gyms that are out there, I don't want to name names, aren't giving people a great workout, but it's not that people come here and there's any pressure to compete or spar. They don't have to do that. It's a lot of business guys, girls, kids, people that want a realistic boxing workout. They want to really feel like they're getting a real boxing workout, like they're, Rocky in it or something like that. And then some people do gravitate towards, amateur competitive boxing, sparring, things like that. Some people I train for charity events, if there's like a charity boxing event or Cops vs. Firemen, things like that. So it's more about just getting people in shape. And boxing is different from a lot of other sports, workouts, because it is a sport and you're learning a sport as you're training. So there's a lot of cardio involved, jumping rope, a lot of strengthening involved, but not using weights. So it's kind of you hit all your muscle groups in one workout instead of weight training where you're doing legs one day and back and bis the other day, things like that. You're really getting all of it in 1 hour in one workout, and you learn the right way. It's not some cardio boxercise aerobics class, which is fine if that's what somebody wants. But we pride ourselves on teaching proper fundamentals, and I think people they get in great shape from it. They lose unbelievable amounts of weight, and it just really does wonders for kids, for their confidence. So it's a lot of sports specific training, like we train professional sports teams like the New York Knicks and the D League and the New York Liberties. So we've had a lot of athletes come through, but it's coupling that with good nutritional advice. I think is important too. So it's you can't follow them around all day and make sure that they're eating eating well. So that's where you come in.
Yeah.
And, you being able to give people that extra, attention or advice. And just like we were talking earlier before we started the podcast about, there's some people that, they gravitate towards that one-on-one coaching. And some more of a class setting or group setting. And it's the same thing here. Here we have classes where people can come in Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 7 p.m. do a boxing class, small group class, and they love it. And then there's people that just want that one-on-one attention focused on just them.
Yeah, what came across my mind is like two things. I think a lot of people are intimidated to go to a gym, like a big gym where there's weights and they don't know how to use them. And you said with boxing, you're using your body weight, but you're not actually like lifting weight. So I feel like that would be a really good first step or first workout to incorporate, obviously under the right supervision. But also, I think what I love about here is it is small in the sense that like if you do one-on-one, it's intimate. So some people have, as much as I wish I could be like, don't be afraid to go to the gym, like, what do they call it? Gym intimidation. Like, as much as I would love to help people and to remove that, and I've written posts about it, and I've even probably recorded a podcast about it, whatever, at the end of the day, it's the reality, right? So I feel like this is a great place for someone to kind of, if you're new to exercise, or even if you're crazy advanced and you want to get in the best shape ever, but I feel like it fits all stages of the person's journey.
It does.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing, going back to, boxing as a workout and bridging it over into boxing as a competitive sport, is there's weight divisions. And they're, within 10-pound increments, and there's a science to getting somebody to that weight properly, safely, and not having them wear sauna suits. And there's a lot of bad trainers out there. They try to make a guy or girl cut weight, and and then they're weak halfway through the fight. So there is the right way to do it and bring someone's weight down gradually towards 6 or 8 weeks, whenever that goal is. So we try to help people with that. Like, what's your goal? You want to lose 15 pounds within X amount of weeks. Okay, well, let's do it in a safe manner. And we sit people down and we just give them kind of, I guess, the basics to nutrition. It's not as in depth as maybe you would go into somebody with coaching them one-on-one. But, we'll let them know you should be hydrating, every hour. You should be, eating a big breakfast, medium lunch, small meal, snacks in between, proper sleep also. So, it's just getting people to their right weight safely and helping them achieve their goals.
That's a really, really good point, because unfortunately most people, I think the first actually what came to mind is wrestling. Like, I remember being in middle school and like having I remember my cousin who was like a 12-year-old doing wrestling, and he was barely eating all day because he was trying to cut weight to a 12-year-old. Like, that's just crazy. And so actually, it's very refreshing to hear you say that you help people get there in a safe way, because I think between like boxing and wrestling, there are certain sports that in the competitive space, it's like, oh, because you're competing, so it's okay and it's acceptable to cut weight really quickly. But that's also what's being said in like the diet world and diet culture. And in both worlds, it's not okay.
No, it's definitely not okay. And that's where coaching comes in. And it comes in as far as wrestling coaches. They know the rights and wrongs, and they know, most of them, the good ones at least, and they shouldn't try to put somebody in a weight division and make them the biggest and strongest in that weight division, and make them cut weight like that. They should just naturally let them go to that next level, that next weight division where they're comfortable.
Right.
But it's the same thing in boxing. Everybody's trying to squeeze down. There's, guys, they're walking around at, 165 pounds, 168 pounds, and they're in shape at that weight, and they're walking around like that all day. And then, a few weeks before a fight, they're trying to cut all the way down to 147 pounds for the weigh-in. They weigh in, the second they get off the scale, they're eating, and they're blowing back up to 168.
Oh, yeah.
And that shouldn't be the way it's done.
No, it's damaging the metabolism for one. But it really goes to, I think a lot of people think just like women have, and I'm sure you have women boxing, which I would love to talk about actually. But I'm just thinking in the grand scheme, I think most of the time it's like men, that's not going to affect their mindset. Like, they're still going to, just like women look at food and get afraid of eating, it can do the same exact thing to a male, or create that like all or nothing mindset of like, I'm either going all in or I'm completely restricting. And it's just such a negative, unhealthy thing to have. And also, I think about it too, like if you're about to get married, right? And you have like this, in a year you're going to get married. Like, why wait an entire year before the wedding and like the last month to a crash diet when you know if you plan ahead long enough, like if like don't sign up for a boxing match like next month, like sign up where you have enough time to train. Same thing like half marathons or marathons, like if you're serious and you're committed, you're gonna get it done. And why rush through the process? which is another point, is sometimes the process is the journey, and I think so many people are just waiting to get to the ends, but you have to enjoy the journey. And trust me, you're gonna, if you do boxing, marathon running, any sort of competitive sport, or just like your own self goals that you set for yourself, you're not going to be done. When you finish, you're going to want to set another one. If you do it the right way, if you do it the wrong way, you're probably going to be done and say, I'm never doing that again. But if you do it the right way, you actually build momentum, motivation, and you want to crush the next one and build next goals. And that's how you actually end up being like, I'm sure I would love to actually talk about some of these people on the wall that you have, like how they got to win huge matches and be successful in fitness.
Well, you know, kind of taking a step back to what you were saying, it's more about, like, I don't believe in diets.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody's got their opinions on this and that, but I don't believe in diets. I believe in a healthy lifestyle for life.
Yeah.
You should be doing this for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
Diets are things that you're going to just do temporary. They're going to frustrate you, and you can just make small changes, and then by the time you know it, you know, you're not, you know, having a coffee with 5 sugars and extra cream. You know, you're having a tea, or you're, you know, putting a little honey in it, and maybe you're having that little, you know,
don't take away my coffee. We can
no,
have coffee.
I know. I think I just finished mine. I just threw it away.
Just less sugar.
Yeah, just less sugar, and just slight changes, and you know, but it is a lifestyle, and I think that is something that we're trying to teach people here at Westchester Boxing Club. But I get a lot of people that they're marathon runners, they're triathletes, and that's a year-round thing for them. You know, it's not it's swimming, it's running, it's biking, it's, you know, they're doing things that are keeping them busy training all year round for that event. And that's and even if you're not a marathon runner, you know, just the healthy lifestyle change, being able to get better sleep, you know, being able to just feel better about yourself, and then you know, it should be something that's changed in the home also.
Yes.
It's funny because this one woman, Lynn, is lazy, and I had handed her a garbage bag one day, and I said, here, go home and clear out anything that you would need. Because I asked her, I said, you know, where do you shop? And she says, well, I go to Whole Foods, I go to Trader Joe's, Mrs. Green's. And I said, so you're responsible for the whole family. And if anybody, the kids are overweight or anybody's overweight, it's because that you bought all those.
See, you
foods.
can say that and get away with it. I would feel bad saying that, but it's so true.
But she did. She took the garbage bag home, and
Thank you for being the bad guy.
Yeah, and she did. She cleared all those things out, and you know, it was great because she just filled the house with good organic foods, and then the kids are forced to eat that. You know, they usually, you know, young kids, they don't have the credit card and the driver's license. They can't run out and get the food, you know, in the car. So it is the parents' responsibility to make sure these kids don't get overweight.
100%. I think that's a really good point. I think in general, we have to take more responsibility for our actions and for the those who we take care of.
Yeah, definitely.
You know,
absolutely. And to mention about, you know, I mean, you know, amazing boxers in the history of the sport. You know, Joe Frazier happened to be a great buddy of mine. He was from Philadelphia, and just a wonderful human being. Unfortunately, he passed away. But you know, he fought Muhammad Ali. He fought everybody, and he was a great guy. And he was a small heavyweight, but he took his sport, you know, seriously, 110%. You know, and he gave it his all, and he was just a great person. I was lucky. I was fortunate enough to be around him and you know, do autograph signings with him, and you know, he's just a wonderful guy.
That's awesome.
But yeah, and you know, just great trainers. You know, I was able to work with. I was lucky. I was just blessed to be able to pick the brains of, you know, over 10 former world championship Hall of Fame legendary boxing trainers.
Yeah.
And you know, there's a lot of people out there, they didn't get that opportunity to learn from these legends of the sport of boxing that train just about every champion that's out there, or train the trainer that train those champions.
What does it take to win something like to win a match? Like, what does it take for that?
It's the same for just about any sport. I mean, you know, it takes hard work, dedication. You know, you ask any, you know, professional athlete, they're probably going to tell you that, you know, they're seeing a nutritionist, or they're watching, you know, that they don't oversleep or undersleep, and that their training regimens are, you know, on point, and they're not overtraining or undertraining. So it's just that balance. I think life is a balance, you know, and when you find that balance and you love what you do, everything else just falls into place, and then talent comes into play. But you know, you just have to work hard and you know, listen to smart people. You know,
Yeah.
always surround yourself with people smarter than yourself. That's what I try to do.
I love that so much. I think that's really important. That if you're the smartest person in your circle, you need a different circle.
Yes. Very true.
Definitely. Awesome. All right. So
tell us about you.
Me?
Yeah, I know we happen to be here at Westchester Boxing Club, but we need to talk about this woman right here because we need to, let everybody know that she's doing great things and
Thank
that
you.
she's going to be starting, coaching classes for nutrition. So you're going to have to, keep in tune to her podcast. That way she can announce when she's doing that. If you like a group setting and you want to bring friends, family, and meet people. Also, it can be a nice social environment to meet other people that are like-minded, try to get their nutrition right. And then just, people maybe that are my clients that want to call Toni Marinucci, and just, talk to her. I'm sure you'll be able to tell them how to get in touch with you.
Yeah.
And private coaching. She does private coaching, which I think is really, really important. And that's one of the things that, everybody needs, whether you're in a gym or not. A healthy lifestyle, where you don't get diabetes, and, it's just, the list is just, endless as far as all the things that are, possible that can, affect your health in a negative, manner. So,
And I like that you create champions, and I want everybody who I work with to feel like a champion.
Yeah. It's
So that's the goal, and it's a perfect marriage between proper nutrition. But I think what you were saying earlier is, I love that you give very general advice that I think most people need, which is make sure you eat plenty of vegetables, lean proteins, 3 meals a day, snacks in between, hydrate with water, sleep, all of these things. And it's great, but it's like, who's going to hold you accountable to do that?
Yeah.
So I think, like, by people having to come, they know that they have to work out, they come to the gym. Working with the dietitian, you get that accountability as well. And then when you put them together, oh my gosh, it's just so motivating.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, I said boxing is a weight-specific sport. It's one of the only weight-specific sports. So people come in here and they're like, Nick, I'm still eating like a slob and I'm losing weight because I'm coming in here 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday. I'm working one-on-one with the trainer. I feel great. I feel my entire body sore. I got a good cardio workout. My shirt's soaking wet when I leave. So they're getting a great workout, and they didn't even change their eating habits, and they're still eating pizza and this and that. And I'm like, that's not the way to go, though. You lost 10 pounds in a week doing that. And, you didn't starve yourself. You ate all. Now imagine if you had just changed a few things.
Yeah, so true.
And then you're losing 15, 20 pounds in a safe manner. And, you're just detoxifying your body and cleansing your body at the same time. I'm not a big fast person. I really don't think people should fast.
Yeah.
But, to each their own. There's a lot of different things out there.
For sure. It's all about individualized care. So I think I love that we spoke about boxing today, because I think if no one's ever tried boxing, they definitely should, because I believe in, like, what works is what you stick to, right? So if you can fall in love with an exercise regimen, then you will be able to live that healthy lifestyle, and your mode of exercise would be boxing. And I use this example a lot, and people are probably tired of me hearing it on the podcast, but, like, if you told me the only form of exercise was swimming and biking, I would never exercise, because I don't enjoy those, not even a little bit.
Yeah.
But because I enjoy strength training, that tends to be the thing that motivates me to keep doing it, because I enjoy it. So you have to find a workout regimen that you enjoy. And I think boxing, because it's competitive, and because you're always getting your limits pushed, and especially when you work with a coach, they're not going to let you settle, right? They're not going to push you to the point where, like, you won't want to come back the next day, but they're going to push you a little bit to be like, wow, I'm surprised I actually did that. I didn't think I could do that. And I think that's the most important thing.
It also gets a lot of stress out. You're punching the bags. You're just getting, if you have any anger issues or anything, you're getting all that out, that frustration, and you're getting your heart rate up, and it's intense. It's as intense as you want it to be. So the coaches are only going to push you to that point where you can handle it. And it is. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, there's a lot of different workouts out there. I mean, there's people like strength training. And then, people like more cardio-based workouts, and not everything, is going to be the right thing for that particular person. But you kind of have to just try different things and see if boxing's something that you want to do, or, if it's a local CrossFit gym, or wherever you want to go, that, you feel you're going to be comfortable and you're going to get a good workout. As long as you're not getting injured, you're having fun, it's safe. And then, when you make that decision to, take that step, and, either with nutrition or with boxing or whatever it may be, that you just don't overdo it, don't underdo it, find a balance, have fun, and that's it. You know?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm curious, do you offer, what if someone wanted to take the class here for their first time?
Well, what we do is, people can come in, they can try a class, see if they like it, and then they can do either a 3-month membership or a 6-month membership.
Nice.
So that gives them the opportunity to come to classes Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday evening from 7 o'clock to 7:45. They can bring hand wraps and gloves if they have them. If not, they can buy them here.
Nice.
Hand wraps are 15, gloves are 45. We accept cash, check, all major credit and debit cards. And classes are fun. It's we keep the classes small, 2 trainers to a class. So if it's a maximum of 12 people, that ratio of 6 people to 1 trainer is something people love because they're getting a little bit more individualized attention.
Yeah.
As far as their form, their technique, their fundamentals. Learning how to use a speed bag, double end bag, maze bag, uppercut hook bag, shadow boxing, and every workout is different. Every class is different. We're always flavoring it up. We do suggest people do a little personal training, maybe in the beginning, just to get their basics down.
Form probably, right?
Form, exactly. Yeah. That way they can kind of flow with it. But the personal training is what we're known for. I mean, that's what we do around the clock, 7 days a week, is all one-on-one private personal training in 1-hour sessions.
Right.
People can buy packages of 5, 10, or 20 sessions.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fun because, you can share that with the whole family. So we have entire families that sign up and, they're 6 years old on up, and it's great. So we have, people that, are training, with their brothers or sisters or mother, daughter, father, son, whatever it may be. So it's fun, and they can come in and get those workouts in. So it's good for the whole family. It's just safe, fun fitness. Nobody's going to hit you. Nobody's going to hurt you. There's no pressure to compete or spar. But it's pretty much
awesome.
it.
But you could compete if you wanted to, right?
Yeah, there are some people that take it to that level.
Yeah.
Like we also are the only collegiate boxing program in the county.
Nice.
So besides this location here in White Plains, we actually have a boxing club on the campus at Westchester Community College.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah, so there's not many collegiate college boxing programs.
Yeah.
West Point has one. So West Point Military Academy. We'll go up there and spar the cadets. That's what we used to do when my coach, Steve Acunto, was another legendary coach I had the chance to work with. And he lived to, I think he was 101 years old. He just passed away a couple years ago. He was a great man. And he's the one that started the Westchester Community College boxing program years ago. I think it was 40-something years ago. And Steve really loved that program. And they were going to, when he passed away, they weren't sure what they were going to do. They were possibly going to cancel the program. But I stepped in and I saved the program and said, look, Steve really wanted this. He loved this program. So we do have a college boxing program, and it's a lot of fun. Kids love it. And we've also given people opportunities to come down here and do personal training. And some people will come in here and they say, wow, you have a program at WCC. I want to do that. So, that's a program where they can compete against other colleges that have, boxing programs, or they can just train and have fun. So it's free for all the students at Westchester Community College, and I do that for free. And, and then you can come here and, obviously there's a fee attached to it down here at Ferris Avenue, but, you can kind of, get a little bit of both if you.
Yeah, for sure. That's great. Wow. Well, thank you so much. This has been amazing.
Yeah. It's, it's a lot of fun, and, I love doing interviews like this. I'm usually the one interviewing people. If people, if you ever go to my website, www.westchesterboxingclub.com, there's a section talk shows and interviews, and more in-depth information about myself. If you go to about the owner, so there's a lot of stuff that we didn't get to talk about, but we briefly touched on as far as like career day. I think there was actually a little video that we did about, when I was talking to the kids down there. So everybody's welcome to check that out. But why don't you tell everybody how to get in touch with you, and then I'll tell them how they can get in touch with me, and we can go from there.
Sure. So I know some people are watching on the live. If you are not already subscribed to the Tips with Toni podcast, I always have people subscribe. I'm on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, literally anywhere you listen to a podcast. So you want to follow Tips with Toni. And if you want to give me a 5-star rating and write a review, that'd be awesome, because that helps people find the podcast, and then more people can hear these amazing stories like from you. You can follow me on Instagram at tips_with_Toni, and you can also find me on Instagram at Tips with Toni, the Tips with Toni podcast.
Great. And you can visit our website at www.westchesterboxingclub.com, and you can visit us on Instagram, Facebook. You can also give us a call at 914-329-6287 anytime, or you can text if you want to set up an appointment to do either a personal training session or a class. And thank you for coming to the gym today.
My pleasure.
And
Thank you for
it was
this.
a lot of fun, and hopefully we can do this again soon.
Yeah.
And everybody that wants to learn how to get themselves in better shape on the nutritional end, see Toni. And if you want to do a little boxing, you can see me, or whatever workout you're doing, see Toni anyway, and she can teach you how to eat right.
Thank you so much. All right.
Well,
Bye.